International Women's Day 2021. My name is Brenda Kimbi. I am a Cameroonian-based YouTuber and a personal development coach. My platform is all about inspiring people, igniting people, and impacting using the various platforms that I have to give people a sense of living, making them feel better, and fulfilling their purpose. Over the years, so many decades have come and gone, and women have been passing on a certain number of traditions, cultures, norms, and values to their children, their grandchildren, and generations come and go. There is a problem of identity. Women in most homes are raised as nurturers, as mothers, as wives, and we don't have a perspective of change makers, solution oriented mindset, and people who can provide sustainable solutions beyond their homes. Women are raised as just a gender and not raised as humans, and because of that we have all the crises we have in society today. So the International Women's Day 2021's theme, which is all about choosing to challenge women, not only in their homes, but in the society, in leadership, in the economic sphere, it's an important one because we need to have this conversation. The average African girl's dream is marriage, is looking forward to that day that a savior will come and take them from their parents' homes. Whereas life is bigger than marriage, life is bigger than a ring, life is bigger than bearing children. And this brings me back to the story of the very popular and well-known successful Nigerian actress Adesua. Some few years back, I remember she was dragged all over the internet because she got married and she wasn't raising forth any kids. Most times when she would share her posts, her projects on Instagram, on other social media platforms, you would always have people commenting, when are you giving birth to children and all of that. Trust me, before her giving birth to their child, she has worked on so many very successful projects. She has done a lot more than we can think. But because we've been raised as mothers, we've been raised only as nurturers, the whole buzz was on the internet when it was known, or when they decided as a couple to share to the general public that they had a child. Then people decided to celebrate her. I celebrated her as well. It was something worth celebrating. But then it makes us ask ourselves the core questions. Are we only gender-based? Can we do beyond our gender as the female sex? There is a lot African women can do. But because of this identity that has been passed on to us by our parents, by our grandparents, so many women are missing the point and will miss the point. So we are having an issue of identity. There is an issue of identity, and the greatest enemy any human can have is the enemy within. So the problem is not even the opposite sex. The problem, it is us. It is that image that we have chosen to hold on to as women that has made us to limit ourselves, make us not to stretch as people, and think that we are wired just to do a particular thing or to be in a particular space. So we are choosing this year to challenge ourselves to go beyond that identity.
My name is Yemmie and I'm a Nigerian from Nigeria, and I create content on YouTube with the aim of inspiring women, African women, to own their lives, live up to their potentials, and to be their best self. I choose to talk about the issues concerning women because I'm a woman and I believe that we have so much potentials that the world is yet to tap into, right? And I also believe that the society we live in, our culture, is really not fair to us women. And so it is important for us to keep discussing, to keep talking about the issues that limit us as women. So yeah. Well, I think that women are very critical of each other and we tend to judge ourselves a lot. That's why we do not really support each other. You know, there's this belief, we have come to believe that women are constantly in competition with each other. And so you see a lot of women trying to avoid that drama. And so somehow they run away, they move away from their fellow women's business just because they don't want to be seen as being in competition with this other lady. So somehow that prevents us from supporting ourselves fully. I'm sure that we all know this Nigerian poet Chimamanda, and in my country, a lot of women tend to call her the feminist, you know, as if she is one lady who is just fighting for herself, you know, and we just tend to put ourselves down just because we want to avoid certain issues, we want to avoid certain drama. And that belief that drama comes with women is also a stereotype, a bias that we have come to believe, and then it prevents us from supporting each other. And I also think that, you know, the idea of us being very critical and being very judgmental about our fellow women's way of living is also plays a major role in us not supporting each other. Because, for example, in my country where I come from, I'm sure it's almost the same with other African countries. But then when you have a female boss in the office, in the workplace, we tend to assume when this lady is probably going about doing her job, you know, we tend to say things like, oh, she's bossy because, you know, she doesn't have kids. She's bossy because she doesn't have a family. She doesn't have a husband, you know. You hear women say things like this. Instead of supporting your fellow woman who is in the position, you know, just encouraging one another, supporting each other. We do not do that, but we judge the way the other woman is living her life. We judge the way she's doing her things, you know. We just expect another woman to do things exactly the way we do it, which is not possible, right? So I think that the fact that we are so critical of each other, we are so judgmental, we always want to lord our own ideas, our own principles on another woman. Those are the issues that stops us from preventing. We always want to show that yes, we know something, you know. We always want to outshine the other person in wisdom, in ideas, in, you know, the way of life. And these things genuinely prevent us from supporting each other.
My name is Nthabi and I am a founder of a design agency called IL Design Creative Approach, and of course I have built a brand behind my name, Nthabi, which is a Real Talk with Nthabi, which includes a YouTube channel that I've created mainly to empower and transform, you know, me and people like you, all right? And it's all about helping you to find the best version of yourself. The 4th of March, International Women's Day. Let me start by saying happy International Women's Day to you. And I'm so excited to be one of the amazing women of this globe, to actually be in your space and engage you in this amazing day. I think International Women's Day, it's really a global celebration where we're celebrating the political, the cultural, the economic, the social achievements of all women across the globe. And I think what a better way to do it than to just say thank you for your amazing work, thank you for standing firm, thank you for believing so much in yourselves and other women. So let's talk about women taking leadership roles. I think let me start by saying this, or let's kind of explain the word leadership, or how to lead. And I think this is one important aspect before you can even put, you know, a person on a word. So leadership, to start with, is the ability to take action, the ability to make a change, the ability to lead something, to make things happen, basically. So when we think of women in leadership, I firstly want to say this: women are capable of taking a lead. Women are capable of leading those big roles. I mean, in our history, it was very difficult for women to actually occupy bigger positions, whether being it a CEO or even a boss of a company. So it looked as if, it's something is not right, meaning women were undermined for the longest time. And we are here to change the narrative, and I think we are aware that things have evolved, things have changed, even though we are still fighting for our space, our rights to actually be equalized. I mean, even the salaries are different. Some men get more salaries than women, even though the roles are similar. So we need to constantly fight for that, because I believe that we deserve to be, compensated the best way, the same way, and that's something that I feel like needs to be done more. And I'm really stressing that, because it is happening still today. I mean, this has been going on for the longest time, but if it's still going on today, it means that so much needs to be done, right?
After evaluating this issue of identity, what can we talk about? How can we unlearn some of these stereotypes, cultures, perspectives, traditions, norms that has been passed to us generations and generations to come? The only way we can do that is to unlearn these habits. Thank God for technology. Thank God for platforms such as YouTube. We can collaborate one to another and talk about these things that women face, that we are not wired only to give birth to children, we are not wired only to take care of our husbands, we are not wired to take care only of the kitchen, but we also have gifts and talents that are entrusted to us by God, that we can use those gifts and talents to change the world, starting from our homes. If you're listening to me right now, just know there is that voice within you, there is that thing that hasn't given you enough sleep, that you can go forward for that thing. Stop looking at the biology clock, as some people call it. That is just science. If we can even joke about it, not every man that has a muscle is a man, or not every man that has been built with the build of a man is a man. But the pressure is on women because there is this identity crisis. We are so much focused on the identity issue that the cosmetic and the beauty industry is making a lot of money, because women are struggling. They want to fight. They don't know who they are. They are trying to hold on to so many other things to give themselves a sense of self-worth. So even when you want to lose weight, even when you want to look good, it is always associated to the other gender. So I am choosing each and every woman listening to this video, challenge yourself that you want to sit on the table of great men, that you want to be a voice not only to your home, not only to your continent, but to the globe as a whole. So this video is just to encourage us all that we know that we've held on to these stereotypes, we've held on to these norms, we've held on to these cultures, but we can make a difference, and the difference should start from within. Unlearning, going back to the basics, going back to those gifts and talents, going back to education, and going back to God to seek the solutions that we need to make the world a better place.
I think it's very important for us to start to, talk about ways that we can solve and challenge these issues on, why women do not support each other. And I think one of the ways we can do that is to have this mindset that you are not perfect on your own. Your own ideas are not perfect. The way you do things are not perfect. What you believe is not perfect. We should develop this growth mindset, and we should be open to other women. We should be open to our fellow women. We can learn from them. We can help each other. You're not perfect. We need each other. We cannot, for our voices to be heard, for us to grow, for us to be a force to reckon with, we need ourselves, we need each other to, support each other so that our voice can be louder. There's really no need to be in competition with each other because there's so many things that already limit us. We shouldn't add that competition to the list, okay? The only thing I feel like we should be in competition with are those things that limit us. We should come together, be united, we should support each other and fight against those things that limit us with one voice, okay? So be nice to your fellow woman, support her business, support her ideas, support her way of life, support her choices, support her decisions. Yes, we should help each other so that we don't make mistakes, but we should allow people to make their own mistakes. We should allow our fellow women to make their own mistakes, but we should always be ready to help them back up. We should always be ready to guide them back on their feet and not just laugh about their downfall or say that, yeah, I said it, but just support each other in a way that our voices can be heard. Yeah, so I think that is, we should just respect each other more and yeah, just support each other.
So as a South African woman, I'm proudly empowered by the women in my space and how they've been taking up space in the world. I mean, we have our Miss Universe, Zozibini, who was crowned, and I mean, I look at her and when she said women should take up space, that really said a lot to say, women, you are capable of taking all the power. You are capable of leading. You are capable of becoming just about anything that you wish to. You have no limits. Nothing stops you from actually accomplishing whatever that you want. And when you think of women in leadership roles, I also want to emphasize the fact that as women, we should not let ourselves down by just accepting to be ordinary or be treated ordinary. We are extraordinary and we are capable of more, and we are not going to limit ourselves, be it in the workspace, be it in a relationship, be it in your marriage. We are not going to do that. You need to put your head together. You need to really be firm about who you are, what you're about, and you need to be clear. You deserve all the respect possible. You deserve all the all the rewards that you actually put out. I mean, the fact that you're putting in the work, this really means that you are capable of doing so much more. I mean, I imagine women, when women start building houses and all that, there's always been this thing of, if a woman is building a house, people look at that as like, no, that's a man's job and all that. The things has changed. Like, things have changed, honey. The tables have turned. Now we are capable of doing so much more. You see a woman leading a supply chain company or a contractor, you see them in the field mining. I mean, things have changed. So this shows that we are capable of more. We have no limits. If we can do this, like, nothing can stop us. So don't limit yourself as a woman. Stand firm and believe in yourself and go for what you believe in. Go for it. Don't let anything stand in your way, because you are capable of doing so much more. All right, so that is my advice to you.